Hey guys, so it's Cassie with The Life of a Lewis. Tonight I am going to answer the question that I've heard a million times over the last week. Where do I start? How do I do this? Where do I start? Hope you enjoy this video. Alright guys, so we have all heard about the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. These 5 questions are going to help us start our homeschool journey. They helped me a lot when I finally realized that I was doing it all wrong and needed to reevaluate. I started with asking myself these 5 questions. Who? Which of my kids are actually going to have a structured homeschool experience? That's a really good place to start, right? Do you want your 2-year-old sitting down doing actual schoolwork, or do you want him to just play, right? So this year, my who are Zadok and Lana. Zadok's going into kindergarten, Lana's going into preschool. Those are my 2 big focuses on who. Now what? What do they need to be learning? When I came across the question of what, I decided that I would look into what a kindergartner needs to know and what a first grader needs to know. Now I saw a couple of you go, didn't she say her kids were in preschool and kindergarten? Yes, I did. But if I know what a kindergartner needs to know, then I can teach that to a preschooler. And if I know what a first grader needs to know, then I can teach that to a kindergartner, right? Makes perfect sense. Okay, so that's where I started, was finding those things. So that's our what, okay? When. Now, when do you homeschool, right? Do you do it first thing in the morning when they wake up and they're crabby because they're still tired? Not me. Do you do it right after lunch? Do you do it at dinner time? Okay, keeping in mind that little kids do not need a lot of direct instruction. They need 20 to 40 minutes a day of super direct instruction, and then the rest of it can be educational play, educational videos, asking them to find numbers and letters when you're in the car, all those sorts of things that I didn't think of until literally a few weeks ago. So when for us is different for each kid. Uriah is just doing games, just playing, and he can do that when the other kids play. Lana does her best focusing in the afternoon right after lunch. Zadok does his best focusing in the morning. Okay, so we kind of have like a routine, and currently our routine states that school is done after lunch, but Zadok gets to do his like actual school in the morning. At least that's the plan for right now. Again, the school year hasn't really started, so this is just the plan for this year. Last year it was very I wasn't as much into the routine. Okay, I realized halfway through last year that Zadok really thrives with a routine or a schedule, some structure. And so I put it together for him. Prior to that, we were doing school when they were cooperating with me, and that wasn't always the same time every day. For those of you who have lots of little kids, you totally understand where I'm coming from. Everyone who doesn't have lots of little kids is like, well, why didn't you make them cooperate? Well, you win some, you lose some. All right, so we've gone through who, what, and when. The next question is where. Where in your house are you going to homeschool? So growing up, we had a whole building on our property that was dedicated to school. It was our schoolhouse. We had all of our books, computers, everything in that house, right? Not everyone has that. As a matter of fact, very few people have that. So I'm one of those people that doesn't have that. In my own house, I have a guest room / school room, and then a nook in my upstairs, which is what we use for storing our school supplies, hanging up all of our cool posters and stuff, and just kind of storing things. Where we do actual school depends on the kid. Again, it's really important to nail down who we're talking about when we answer each of these questions. Lana prefers to do her schoolwork at a table, sitting with no distractions, and doing worksheets. That's what she's really good at. It's how she learns best. Zadok, on the other hand, likes to be jumping around, making loud noises, doing headstands and flips, and showing me all of his cool new dance moves while we learn. It's frustrating for me, but that's how he learns best, and so we do our best to find a space that is accommodating to what he needs. All right, so where in your house might mean that you just carry around a caddy full of books, and wherever you happen to be sitting is where you instruct your kids. And that's totally acceptable. Homeschool is completely adaptable to what you need. So if the only 10 minutes you can find, not 10 minutes, obviously, any more than 10 minutes, if the only 20 minutes to 40 minutes that you can find is the time between dinner and bedtime, use that 20 to 40 minutes. And if the only space you can find in your house is the dining room table or the couch, use that space. Okay, it does not have to be a desk and a bookshelf to be school. It just doesn't have to be one size fits all at any point in time, ever. This is completely adaptable to your situation, and so I want you to think about that when you're looking at when and where to do school. Who, what, when, where, and why. The biggest one for me, I know a lot of you are like, well, I know why, COVID. I understand that COVID schooling is necessary and that you may be only homeschooling for this year simply for the fact that COVID-19 completely ruined your plans to send your kid to school. And I'm so sorry for that, but I'm glad that you get this opportunity. Now, for me, the why is pretty simple. I genuinely feel called by God to homeschool my children. Not everyone can say they feel that way, and that's totally fine. Whatever your reason is, it is going to help you so much. When you're just sitting there completely frustrated with your kids, completely broken, thinking, oh my gosh, when can I send them to school? Like, when can I enroll them? What is the earliest possibility? Like, what are the requirements for getting them into school? I had 2 of those moments last year, and Zadok was only in preschool. Yeah, it was a rough year. But we've learned a lot over the summer, and it's really helped us kind of shape our school to be more tailored towards what he needs and less tailored to what I feel like is required, right? Again, it's not one size fits all. This is not a glove that you can just fit on your hand and be like, look, I did it. No, this is a lot of work adapting to what your kids need and what works for your family. So your why is going to be completely different from mine. But when you are frustrated and angry and you really just want to give up, your why is going to help you keep going. So I hope that you guys found this video to be educational and helpful. And I hope that my experience for how I got started will help you get started well. Don't forget to like this video, comment any questions, or just say hi and subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our cool stuff. Thanks.